guys. Back with Hailey.
Hello.
Lisa's almost slapped her in the face.
I want spaghetti. That's what I want for lunch. I just remembered when we went to Buca di Beppo.
In Orlando?
Yeah. I want spaghetti. That sounds so good.
Hailey was like, this is the best spaghetti ever.
Yeah, and you didn't like it.
And it was like, alright.
It was good. That's what I want though. Cocoa Beach Branos or something.
This is what I have to deal with.
I'll pay.
I mentioned something that I was hungry and that she should pay for it.
Yeah, but you wanted Chick-fil-A and I don't really want Chick-fil-A. I want spaghetti. Spaghetti!
What if Chick-fil-A had spaghetti?
That's a very off-brand thing for them.
Do you think it'd be good though?
No.
I mean, maybe.
Well, everything at Chick-fil-A is good. Because they've got the Lord on their side.
We're getting so off topic.
Jesus chicken.
So, today in this video, we are reading scary stories from Reddit. So,
Chick-fil-A doesn't have spaghetti! That's the first one. Okay, continue.
Story number 1. I let my mom count down to 0. It was scary.
Let your mom count down to 0?
You know, when she wants you and like, you get in trouble and she goes, 3, 2, and you always are there.
Is this gonna be funny or like, oh my gosh, watch it take like a crazy turn.
I just saw it and I was just like, you know what, alright, let's go.
I'm down for it.
Okay, actual story number 1. Imaginary friend? Question mark at the end.
I had an imaginary friend.
I had an imaginary family.
It was a ghost. They were ghosts, bro.
We lived on the moon.
They were so ghosts.
I called them my other family. Lived on the moon, and I was the oldest, and Zach was the youngest.
Okay, that's actual imaginary friends. Mine was ghosts.
I probably had a ghost friend somewhere in there.
On the moon? There's ghosts on the moon.
I mean, we don't know what's really on the dark side of the moon. No one's ever been there.
Pink Floyd.
Okay, let's get into the story. My best friend is Corey, and he had been over for a year now. After my
Hey mom, I'm gonna go over to Justin's. Okay. 1 year later. I'm back. Me and you. Hey mom, I'm gonna go over to Emily's.
1 year
Comes back
later.
a year later.
Hey mom, I'm home. Where have you been for the year? At Emily's. After my accident, things changed for me. I felt alone, so confused. We met in the park. He was sat on the swing. I'd never seen him before. He said he had no brothers, no sisters, no brothers, no friends to play with. I felt sorry for him. Oh, I think I know where this is going. We did everything together. Sleepovers, video games, adventures, you name it. But I heard the adults whispering complaints. It's just a phase. He's only 8. He'll grow out of it. He'll make real friends soon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One day I couldn't find Corey. I checked everywhere. I finally found him on the swing back at the park where we first became friends. Looking at me sadly, he said he had to go and that I couldn't follow. I watched him vanish in the distance. I never saw him after that. I felt so lost, so confused. His last words he said to me.
What did I say? Ghost.
My aunt says I'm too old to play with imaginary friends.
Wait,
what?
Corey said that?
Yeah, his last words to me. My aunt says I'm too old to play with imaginary friends. I think as in he's too old to pretend he's an imaginary friend. But he's really a ghost.
No. Is that the end of it?
Yes.
His last words to me, my aunt says I'm too old. I'm confused. It's over the course of 55 days. And it has it like laid out. I'm a fast reader, so.
Yeah, I'm a very slow reader. And I stutter.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Waffles, day 1. While playing in the schoolyard, I found a cute...
Goo.
I'm a fast reader. I'm a good reader.
Was playing in the schoolyard.
First sentence to mess that up. Okay. Day 1. While playing in the schoolyard, I found a cute pink teddy bear just lying on the ground. I picked him up and decided to call him Mr. Waffles. I had to hide Mr. Waffles in my bag because if my parents found out, they'd make me throw him away. I feel that.
Yes.
Day 2. I cleaned up Mr. Waffles and he looks prettier than ever now. He's even nice. He even says nice things like I love you or give me a cookie when I press him. 5.
What?
Day 5.
Wait a minute, what?
He might have like a little voice box, right? I love you.
Give me a cookie?
Yeah. Day 5. I noticed that my dog, Foofy, doesn't like Mr. Waffles a lot.
Hey, Foofy. Foofy. Pups.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Foofy doesn't like Mr. Waffles a lot. Foofy doesn't come near him. He just stands far away and growls at Mr. Waffles. Day 6. Apparently Mr. Waffles has a switch. When I turn on the switch, he stands up and does dances for me. This can't be real. Does dances for me. Day 7. Dad walked into my room and almost saw Mr. Waffles. Luckily, Mr. Waffles was smart and he hid behind me. Day 9. Mr. Waffles was really smart for a toy. He started talking to me and calling me by name. He tells me that I'm his best friend and he loves me very much. Day 12. Mr. Waffles said he was hungry, but he doesn't like cookies. Mr. Waffles said, like all bears, he eats meat. I hope my parents don't notice me sneaking in a few steaks for Mr. Waffles. I don't want him to go hungry. Yeah, this is definitely not true. Day 14. While Mr. Waffles was playing with me, Foofy came from behind Mr. Waffles and started biting and thrashing him. I managed to kick Foofy out of the room. Mr. Waffles was not happy about that, but for me, he forgave Foofy. Day 17, Foofy went missing. I was crying so hard, but Mr. Waffles hugged me and told me everything's going to be alright. Day 18, Mr. Waffles started to take some blood from the steaks I brought him, and he started drawing on a piece of paper with it. This isn't right now. I offered some crayons, but Mr. Waffles said he preferred to draw this way. Mr. Waffles also wrote some strange letters. He tells me it's French. This is funny, I'm sorry. Day 19. Today I overheard my parents saying to one of their friends something along the lines of, the dog's head and 2 of the paws were found when I asked them, they said nothing and go to my room. I told Mr. Waffles about it and he told me that dogs are a popular food in China, and my parents were probably talking about how good the Chinese food was from some restaurant. Ew, bro, this is gross. Day 20. Mom found some of Mr. Waffles' drawings. I had to take the blame. Mom was really angry and upset. Dad had to calm her down. My parents decided to send me to a counselor. Day 22. The counselor was a nice lady. Her name was Mrs. Bryan. She asked me questions like what I was drawing and what I know about Foofy going missing. She was a nice lady, but I couldn't tell her about Mr. Waffles. Day 24. Mr. Waffles is growing big. He's become double in size. Mr. Waffles can also change voices now. He can make a really deep voice, a really high-pitched voice, and he can even talk in echoes. Mr. Waffles is such a good actor. Day 25. Mr. Waffles has teeth and claws. Strange. I never noticed them before. Day 26. A nice therapist lady asked what I thought of my parents and to tell if there was any secret I wasn't supposed to tell. When I told this to Mr. Waffles, he got very happy. I'm confused now. Day 28. Mr. Waffles played a game with me. He took a cutter and made a few lines in my belly and thighs. This is dark. I don't like it. He said we're going to prank Daddy. The next time I met the nice counselor lady, I was supposed to tell her that it was Daddy. I hurt a lot, but Mr. Waffles told me that there's no gain without pain. Mr. Waffles is very wise. Daddy's going to laugh so hard when we reveal that it's a prank. Day 35. Daddy's gone. Both Mrs. Bryan and Mommy were furious with Daddy. Mommy hugged me and cried, told me not to worry anymore and that she was going to make sure I was safe. Mr. Waffles told me that Daddy left because he didn't love me, and that's why he got so mad for a simple prank. Mr. Waffles told me to never tell anybody about the prank. I was upset with Daddy, but Mr. Waffles told me that he's never going to stop loving me, unlike Daddy. Day 47. I accidentally mentioned to the counselor lady, Mrs. Bryan, about Waffles. I just told her how nice he was. Miss Bryan asked me how Mr. Waffles felt about me and what I like in Mr. Waffles. I think she thinks I'm imagining him. Mr. Waffles. I had to tell Mr. Waffles about it, and he was very angry. He threw a toy car at me and called me words that my mom told me to never say. I was really hurt. In the middle of the night, Mr. Waffles ran away. I'm really sad. I think he left me. Day 51. Mommy told me that I will no longer be going to Mrs. Bryan for counseling because she went camping. I woke up at night.
Oh my god.
Someone calling my name, and it was Mr. Waffles. I apologized to him a lot, and he said he decided to come back and forgive me. He also told me that he loves me a lot. Day 53.
Mr. Waffles killed the therapist.
While we were playing with scissors. First off, don't play
with scissors. Don't do it.
Would you
Never.
While we were playing with scissors, casually, Mr. Waffles told me it was finally time to introduce himself to Mom. He said he will amaze her with his incredible paper cutting skills. Mr. Waffle took his scissors, some paper, and a pillow to sit on and went to Mom's room. He told me to wait in mine. Mr. Waffles came back a lot of time later, and he said Mommy really liked him and his paper cutting skills. Unfortunately, she had an urgent business meeting and attend to, so she left in a hurry. Day 55. Mommy still hasn't came back from the business meeting. She left her room locked. I have only eaten snacks and chips from the pantry. Mr. Waffles has been spraying air freshener a lot around the house, especially in front of Mom's room. He says that the bad smell is because Mommy stopped cleaning the house. When I told Mr. Waffles that I miss Mommy, he told me that he will take me to see her tomorrow. I'm so lucky to have Mr. Waffles.
What? What was that?
I like the format, people. Yeah, it was definitely a fake story, but...
Clowns in the graveyard. I was driving home from work last night and I saw the most horrific thing I've ever seen. There is a cemetery next to the highway that leads into my town. It's about 10 at night, so it's dark, but not pitch black. I look out my window at the cemetery and I see two people digging. I decided I should go investigate. This is not something I've seen this late at night before. I pulled into the graveyard and I get out of my car and turn on my flashlight. I walk towards where I saw the people digging. The flashlight shines on them and my heart drops. I have just stumbled upon two people dressed as clowns who are digging in a grave for a large bag that they have near them. They turn and look at me when my light shines on them. They start to laugh, a dark, sinister laugh, and one of them says in the raspiest voice I've ever heard, "You aren't supposed to be here, boy." And I turn to my car.
You aren't supposed to be here, boy. Probably just like that.
I hear the sound of the shovels dropping and the sound of the feet running after me. I reach my car, I jump in and lock the doors. The two clowns reach my car and I see both of them now are holding knives. I pull out of there as fast as possible. Once I pull out of the graveyard, I call the police. I tell them everything I saw and they send a few cars out. Wait.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was this.
Oh, I thought it was Olive.
I tell them everything I saw and they send a few cars out. I pass them as I make my drive home. A couple hours pass and I get a call back from the police station. They let me know they found the bag that was with them. Inside they have found a body of a local stripper that had been missing for a week. There was nothing else there, no shovels or any signs of the clowns. The police are now opening up an investigation into the death. If there are any updates, I will post. Holy cow. This was posted 2 hours ago.
Whoa.
That happened last night.
Really?
Yeah, I said I was driving home from work last night.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. This one's called Never Ignore Your Intuition and Don't Go Out with Senior Boys. Okay, this is great. Alright, so yeah. In 9th grade, I was a pretty bad kid. Always smoking or drinking or sneaking out. Well, I ended up meeting a senior boy who asked me to go on a date with him. I was super excited because I've never really gone on an actual date since all of them were just me sneaking off to the house to drink or parties with a lot of other people. I told my parents and they were fine with it as long as they met him first. I got all dolled up and he showed up at my door. He was really awkward when he met my parents, which was fine, but it gave me a really weird feeling in my stomach. I went into his car and asked where we were going to go. He started driving around and ending up pulling into high school and parked. I was kind of disappointed since I thought we were going to actually be going out somewhere, but that was the least of my issues. He turned the car off, which immediately made me uneasy. Everything in my brain was telling me to go home right now, but I was far away and I didn't really have an excuse to ask my mom to come get me since nothing had happened yet. He asked me to go in the back seat with him and I said no. He started asking over and over while I continued saying no because began screaming at me to get in the back. I tried to get out of the car, but my door wouldn't open. He grabbed my arm and really hard and forced me to look at him. He told me if I didn't get in the back, he was going to hurt me. I told him to let go and that he was already hurting me, and he said he could make it a lot worse. I was so terrified, but right at that moment, my mom called and I convinced him to let go so I could pick up. I answered and I told her. She said I needed to come home because I didn't clean my room. He ended up driving me home and was grumbling the whole way back about how it was a frigid. The minute he pulled near my house, I was finally able to get out and I ran in and told my mom everything. She said she had a really bad feeling too, and that's why she called and said I needed to come home. I don't know if he really would have hurt me, but I'd like to think that her intuition saved me. Ooh.
Mother's intuition, there's no joke about that.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Boys are icky. Some boys, not all boys, but most boys are icky.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed these creepy story things. If there's any update about that clown thing, you'll make another video because I want to follow that. That was pretty interesting. But stay tuned for more videos and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights.